I know what some of y'all are thinking. Why does he look so good wearing a bucket hat inside? I don't know, but I will say that some of you others might be thinking in the comment section, well, why is he wearing a bucket hat inside? It's a fashion choice. It's like Jared Allen with the mullet, dipping your fries into mayonnaise or mustard or whatever it is. Or it's what's another fashion choice? I get Justin Jefferson today before the game against the Giants, maybe. Anyway, we're getting off track. In our latest edition of Winners and Losers for the Vikings, yeah, big time win over the New York Giants. 28-6 was the final score. I say big time kind of loosely, like the Giants were imploding. Like it was just a matter of time, right? And I honestly think that at the end of the day, we all kind of saw it, right? It wasn't that big of a shock, but also, hey, a win's a win. We're happy to get it. Victory Monday is always going to be hitting hard, right? So, but today in our latest edition of Winners and Losers for the Vikings, there's a couple different things I kind of want to go over. We'll start with the good. We'll start with the winners. I mean, you got to give a lot of credit to Sam Darnold. Like coming into this situation where obviously eyes are on JJ McCarthy and people are kind of, after his injury, we're kind of reeling like, great, now we have to stick with Sam Darnold. Kind of answered the bell today. 19 of 24 for 208 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. And the pick, I don't necessarily blame him. I think it really came down to horrible protection on that particular play. Now, the offensive line for the most part was okay for the afternoon, but early morning and afternoon, excuse me. But overall, offensive line, the interior offensive line's got to get a lot better. I know they got their lunch absolutely eaten by Dexter Lawrence. Of course, it's Dexter Lawrence. He's arguably the best defensive tackle in the game right now, but interior needs to get a lot better. But Sam Darnold definitely answered the call there. Like we said, also Aaron Jones, another winner we had here to kind of really start out the game. Like a big problem for the Vikings last year was running the football. And Aaron Jones, like he shows that ability to make this offensive line look great. 13 carries, 93 yards, and a touchdown. Had a lot of really nice chunk runs. And I think we can expect this. I think we can start to see a guy like Aaron Jones continue to gash defenders and find a way to be patient and get away into the second level and, make some plays here. So Aaron Jones, big time afternoon for him as well. Also caught a couple of passes as well, 2 for 15. So over 100 yards from scrimmage, had a touchdown. He had one more touchdown than Alexander Madison did all of last season. Great. Love it. But also Ty Chandler played a pretty good game, 8 carries, 17 yards. Definitely another winner for me just because, he really provided a little bit of a spark for the Vikings when they needed it, specifically on that 99-yard touchdown drive, caught that huge pass out of the flat. He finished the afternoon with 8 carries, 17 yards, also had 3 catches for 25 yards. Looked really good. Justin Jefferson, I love Justin Jefferson. Even though he only had 4 catches for 59 yards and a tutty, he impacts the game so much. Like on the Jalen Naylor touchdown, like when Sam Darnold did the fake pump to Jefferson and had Jalen Naylor over the top, it was just a thing of beauty. Like he impacts the game so much, and it's so hard not to just love the guy, right? So kudos to Justin Jefferson there, just having his immediate impact for the Vikings. Also, Andrew Van Ginkel, he might be the man of the match. I mean, just the way he was just getting after it, 4 total tackles, had a sack, also had a pick 6 there. He is going to have a bigger impact than a lot of people think. Obviously, Dallas Turner is the talk of the town right now, being a first-round pick. Also had a sack this afternoon. Looked really good and everything. But Andrew Van Ginkel, he does the little things. And that's what's so big for this defense is, I believe the Giants had a design run play for Daniel Jones, or I can't remember, but he basically blew up the guard and allowed Jerry Tillery to make the play. I think maybe it was Jonathan Bullard. Anyway, doesn't matter. He blows up offensive linemen when they're pulling. He's solid out in coverage, and he's able to get to the quarterback. I think he's going to be a huge underrated signing for the Vikings by the time the season's done and everything. He had a fantastic afternoon as well. Jordan Addison now did leave the game. I think, late in the third, maybe late in the second, doesn't matter. But 3 catches, 35 yards. Really hope that ankle turns out to be okay. But also, yeah, I think this wide receiver core is looking pretty good for the Vikings right about now. So, but yes, wish him a speedy recovery for that ankle injury. But like we said, caught those passes in and out of breaks. He's really tough to guard. Also, Josh Oliver had himself a pretty good night, or afternoon, excuse me. I'll quit saying afternoon. 2 for 27. Had that huge catch in the red zone early in the game that really got the Vikings sparked there. Great throw from Sam Darnold. Love to see it. Jalen Naylor caught that touchdown. We were all kind of worried about how he was going to look, obviously coming back from an injury and everything, but he looked really good. Had really the only catch for 21 yards and a touchdown, but I think he could potentially give you a little bit of value there if and when Jordan Addison does miss a little bit of time. Also, Byron Murphy Jr. looked really good as well in the secondary, making plays all over the place. Now, part of that is because of Daniel Jones is horrible. Like, he's going to make a good backup quarterback in the NFL, but not much after that. I mean, Byron Murphy led the team in tackles with 9, was just all over the place making plays. You love to see it. He is going to be an absolute, I think he's in a way better position with what the Vikings have from a personnel perspective. Also, Harrison Smith absolutely baited, hook, line, and sinker on that Daniel Jones red zone interception late in the game that all but sealed it for the Vikings. Like, the Giants were kind of threatening, but Harry the Hitman said, nope, give me that, and really did a great job with his veteran experience and making a play on the ball. You love to see it. Another winner for me. Now, Harrison Phillips he's a lot like Andrew Van Ginkel. He does all the small things that nobody really notices, right? Like, he's just, I love me some of my Harrison Phillips. I always have 5 total tackles for Harrison Phillips and a sack, and constant pressure for the Vikings on that front against the Giants, Dallas Turner, we touched on it, 3 total tackles, had a sack. Like, Dallas Turner's going to be a stud. He's going to be an absolute stud, and it's going to be really fun to see him this season because it's not like he's going to get a ton of snaps. Andrew Van Ginkel and Jonathan Grenard, who also had a pretty good day, like, both of those guys are going to get the majority of the snaps, but Dallas Turner, by the end of the season, like, he's probably going to be a double-digit sack type of guy, and he's just fantastic. I love him. Patrick Jones II had a couple of sacks on the afternoon, and it was one of those things where he just found a way to get to the quarterback early and often, and he was just a menace. And I think that he really did a good job in a lot of different regards of making everything happen. And like I said, like, he's one of those guys that he's going to maybe not get a lot of snaps just like you saw with Turner, but overall, like, when he's in, he does make plays and he does do a lot of different things for you. So 2 sacks for him, you really love to see it, and I think that he's going to get a lot more run. Maybe unfortunately might be a trade candidate if and when the season does head towards the trade deadline. I hope not, because I think he's a really good player, but I mean, 2 sacks for him today, really good afternoon for him. Christian Darrisaw, also Brian O'Neill had an okay day. Christian Darrisaw, like, that was not a hold. Not a hold. I don't care what anybody says. He just ate Thibodeau's lunch. Like, just stop it. Stop it. Like, Christian Darrisaw is a man. I think this is the 2nd time or 3rd time he's eaten Thibodeau's lunch, and it's just, love it. I absolutely love it. Christian Darrisaw is a stud. Like, Sam Darnold, there were times where he was just an astronaut. He just stood in the pocket and delivered throws, and these holding calls, some of them were stupid, just got to say it. Jerry Tillery also had a pretty solid game. I do think that overall, he didn't necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but just his impact in the running game and everything, he looks absolutely fantastic. And so as far as the winners, I think that pretty much does it. Looking at Ty Chandler, like we talked about, Aaron Jones, everybody, everybody looked pretty good. Oh, also, Ivan, now we'll get into the losers here. So as far as the losers, we got to talk about the fact that this Ed Ingram problem has to stop. Dexter Lawrence just completely obliterated this man. Like, we got to find a way to get this thing shored up, whether it's more than protection on the inside, whatever it is. I know the Vikings were able to find ways to get it done, but against a good team, this offensive line interiorly specifically will not hold up. It's so frustrating. Like, Blake Brandel wasn't horrible, but Ed Ingram was a liability, as was I can't even think of it. Garrett Bradbury, excuse me. So yeah, not great. Also, CJ Ham, that fumble early in the game. Got to take care of the football, even though the Vikings defense was able to hold them to 3. It's not a good start. We got to cut down on the turnovers, and it was literally the story of the season last year. Just stop turning the ball over, right? So it's what it is there. But penalties too, like holding penalties, and it was both from a Vikings personnel standpoint, like was it Ward early on there for that hold? Like, you knew you held. Come on. Also, I like Ivan Pace Jr., but what are you thinking, dude? Like, you're a hell of a player. You don't need to be stooping down to that level. But also just penalties as a whole for the Vikings, like, can't have them. You just can't have them. We got to definitely come back from that one. So overall, as far as the rest of the losers, I couldn't think any more off the top of my head because this was a pretty good afternoon. Oh, also Stephon Gilmore. I know Malik Neighbors is a rookie, but some of those throws, it's just like a good Lord. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the rest of this goes because the secondary needs to step up, especially against top talent like Malik Neighbors. Because again, against a good team, that's just not going to fly. It's just not going to fly. There's going to be good teams that find a way to take care of you over there. Also, I'll give another winner. Blake Cashman, 6 tackles, looked pretty good today as well. So, top to bottom, really good inaugural, our first game of the season for the Vikings, getting a win over the Giants, and I think all of the football mantra is, hey, we can celebrate on Sunday, maybe even a little bit of Monday, but overall, then it's right back into the next game. And I do think that you can enjoy games like this, but overall, it does come back to the fact that like you can't get too hung up on it. Now it's the 49ers. The 49ers are a really good team, probably looking to get a little bit of revenge on the Vikings for last year. So got to go get it done against the 49ers and get this season kicked off the right way. So, but overall, let us know what you guys think. Vikings take down the Giants 28-6 in the opener on the road. Let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and we'll see you on the next video.